everyone. Your designers are here. I'm Anita with Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly with My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
All right, today is a day we're going to be talking about mirrors. We all love mirrors and the way they reflect light and bring brightness into our rooms. And they have a tendency to make a room look larger too, which I love. And they add that great layer of decor that we all love, girls. Isn't that right?
Oh, well, and I have two girls, so it's very important, I found, to have reflective surfaces in any room so that somebody can check herself.
That's hilarious.
I think that never grows old, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm just saying sometimes this person is not looking at me. This person is looking at her reflection.
Okay.
When we're talking, you know.
We're not saying
That's
who
so
it
funny.
is, though.
I dated someone like that
is.
once. You were like, I was like, does he have like a lazy eye or like a roaming, like a quote unquote roaming eye? I'm like, he always seems to be looking behind.
He had a
me.
roaming eye. There
But it wasn't just mirrors. It was like car windows,
my goodness
gracious.
restaurant windows. Yes,
Oh,
any
yes.
place that there was a reflective surface. Like, I'm surprised he didn't check himself out in the flatware. Like, whoa.
That's what I'm saying. Reflective surfaces around here. It doesn't have to be
reflective
mirrors.
Oh, isn't
surface.
that funny?
Yeah.
Girl, where do you use mirrors in your home?
I use them
I use
everywhere.
Well, obviously, I use them everywhere.
Well, I think every room, whether you're actually, honestly, I have to say, most of the time I'm like, ooh, I'm going to catch myself in the mirror like, whoa, okay, like you need more sleep or something. But I don't necessarily using them to check myself out all day long. But I think a mirror in almost every room. I can't think of a room that I don't have a mirror in.
How about a kitchen? Most people don't have mirrors in kitchens.
Yeah, I don't in there.
Well,
But,
I
you
am
know-
going to put one up in my kitchen, but I have that back staircase, and I'm going to do it at the bottom of that staircase. I have this vintage mirror that I bought, but it's super heavy, so I'm like, a little nervous about hanging it up. But so I will have a mirror in the kitchen. But I agree, I don't know that that's really a necessity, but almost every other room can benefit with a mirror.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. And then, when you're going, I use a lot of vintage mirrors. And they add so much depth to the room when you've got these beautiful frames. And they're not all square or rectangular. Some are oval. Some are, kind of curvy shaped. So it really can add so much beauty and depth to a room. And, of course, that reflection of the room does, help the room feel bigger. And it can reflect the light, too. So it's good for that, too.
And here's a tip. Make sure when you have a mirror in your room that it reflects something beautiful. For a decade or so, we have this beautiful mirror. We had it in our last home, and it actually was in our bathroom. We had a mirror made for our bathroom, and it just was such a good quality, and it cost so much that I wanted to just put it somewhere where everyone could see it and so we could enjoy it. So I put it on my mantle. And I have a very tall mantle. And this is just such a blonde moment or decade. It was like 10 years before I thought, I'm just really tired of that, of looking at the ceiling. Every time I look at the mirror, it reflected my ceiling.
Oh.
And so it was like clunk. I took it down and I put it in my dining room. Now it reflects my beautiful chandelier and, and on into my foyer. And I hung something else there. So just make sure that your mirror doesn't reflect like an opposite wall with nothing on it or the ceiling or something like that.
That's a really good point.
Also,
Yeah, and sometimes you can make it set it up so it's reflecting the outside, so you can bring some of the greenery in if there's some shrubbery or something like
great
that.
idea.
I was just going to say that if you put it on the opposite wall, that you have a window on and it reflects what's outside. If you have a good outside view, that is.
Yeah.
Another good thing to reflect in a mirror is art.
Oh,
If
great
you have
idea.
art on the opposing wall, that's a really beautiful look. It just fills your room up with just that artistic beauty, I think.
And riffing off that, so if you have some art in your room, and the opposite walls, opposing walls, adjacent walls seem like they need something, but you don't want to fight with the art you already have, a mirror is a great way to go. You've got something and it's giving it shape, but it's not competing with the piece of art or something else that you have on the wall.
Right.
And as far as size, I always say bigger is better.
Well, and if you're putting a mirror over a sink, in a bathroom, you really do have to be careful, because I play around a lot with these kind of vintage and antique mirrors that are odd shapes and small. And I found that the round mirrors really, it's hard to get that to work just right for people of varying heights.
Yes.
So if you've got a mirror over the sink, typically kind of a portrait, having it, the portrait rather than landscape orientation is better, so that everyone can see themselves. Because I know I think the house we were in before, my husband, I think he could see his chin in the mirror.
And you don't want to have a mirror get lost in your wall. If you're going to put a mirror up, put one that is a big enough size that it, that you can see it, that it becomes part of the room, that it's art or architecture of the room itself. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I love a big mirror. We talked about, I think, in dining rooms, how I did that, made an entire mirror.
Oh, that's right.
In between the two windows, so I could reflect my living room, which was opposing the dining room, and framed it out. And that might be something that's an inexpensive way to fill a big space and also make a room feel much larger. If you're going to go that route, one tip that I would like to give you is, if you're framing the mirror out, make sure that you paint the back of the wood.
Yeah, that's
going
true.
to be against the mirror.
Reflects.
Yes. Because it will reflect it.
Yes, that's a really good tip.
Point.
But here, I'm going to go a little further. If you're going to frame a bathroom mirror out, that takes a lot of time and energy. Just rip it off the wall.
Oh, in the bathroom, you don't.
Yes, and put up a nice mirror. If I've seen them framed out, and they're nice, but you can tell, that's just been that's a standard mirror that gets slapped up on the wall that's been framed out. It's easy. We've done it in 2 homes. We've taken it off, and we've put up, more beautiful, more decorative mirrors. And I really think that's the way to go.
So, or for a floor length mirror, I have a little tip that will help you look thinner in the mirror that I've kind of stumbled upon.
Oh, do tell.
Well, lean the mirror against the wall. So the bottom of the mirror is closer than the top, and you're going to end up looking thinner. And if you have it angled the other way, you're going to look heavier.
And I have And I have another tip. If you have an empty corner in your bedroom, that's a great place to lean a mirror against the wall.
Oh, there you go.
However, there's this whole, I think it's feng shui thing, that you shouldn't have mirrors in your bedroom, and I think there shouldn't have one above your bed. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons for that.
There's
but
wait a minute.
It's
on the wall or the
considered,
ceiling? What are we talking about?
Well, both. But it's considered bad
Maybe we
luck.
should separate those out.
It's considered bad luck to have a mirror on your ceiling, and I don't fall into all that, but I wouldn't have one up there anyway. Because there was this one night in a hotel with a mirror on the bed, and that I won't go into, with Bobby and I when we were married, like maybe 5 or 10 years. And it's a horrible thing to wake up looking at yourself. Yeah, so I won't go into. I did tell the girls this funny story, but it's not that it's terrible, but it's just a funny story that my husband made reservations at a wrong hotel, and we ended up having to stay there, and it actually had a mirror above our beds. So I'd never do that again. But anyway,
it's bad feng shui.
Bad feng shui. Bad luck. But a
Moving
mirror,
right along, Anita.
But a mirror propped into a corner is a very nice thing to have in your bedroom.
I have a mirror story, but it's nothing like that one. So one of my favorite mirror styles is Louis Philippe, which is squared corners on the bottom, and it's curved at the top. And I went to the antique store and found one that it would look very old. I knew it was original, which means it's from about the 1840s.
Wow.
But it had this hideous black paint on it, and I knew it was the black paint wasn't original. I just thought, what were someone thinking? I mean, I was just so angry that someone would ruin this gorgeous French mirror with this ugly black paint. Well, I painted over the black paint with some gold, and it looks fine. Honestly, you can't even tell. And it just so happened that a few months later, I ended up in Paris because we were taking our daughter to Europe. She was graduating, and we were staying in a woman's house, Catherine, who was this lovely Parisian woman, and she told me, "Oh, that black paint was from the 1870s."
Oh.
Yes.
Did you take it off?
Well, I painted over it, but I didn't like the black paint anyway. But what happened was Napoleon III had lost part of France, and the people went into mourning, and they painted their furniture black and their mirrors frames black in mourning and in their grief.
They painted their furniture.
Sure enough, when I went to the flea market a few days later, there were quite a few of the Louis Philippe mirrors with the black paint on them. So who knew?
Wow.
The last episode we just talked about accent chairs, and I told you I got this old chair from Luckett's.
Right.
And it was like a 18th century Chippendale looking chair, and it's black. And I'm wondering if that's what it was.
Well, unless it's French, I don't know.
Oh, how about that? So the mirrors. I tend to, I'm very versatile in my taste in mirrors, but I just swoon over a beautifully gilded mirror.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And even in a modern style.
Well, I have a very old one. I mean, it's so ornate. I mean, it's got this wood bow at the top that's up maybe a foot above the mirror, and it's, gold leaf all over it, and gorgeous, hand carved. You can't get the new ones like that. I mean, so this is really a great way if you want to add some interest to your room. If you're going to put a mirror anyway, why not get something with some real personality? And if you go vintage or antique, you can usually find something really special to add some, real wow to the room.
Yeah,
and go ahead, Kelly.
If you find an old frame that you really like, or a new frame, but if you find a vintage frame that you really are drawn to, but the patina really is beautiful, you can always have a mirror put in it, and that's not too expensive. You can have it cut, and there's also a way to treat a new mirror so it appears like it's been the actual glass surface has been aged, and so there's a DIY, and you can find those online. We'll put one in the show notes that we know of. Actually, a friend of ours had written one for HGTV, and I pulled that one up, and we can share that with you. It's a little bit of a process, but if you, I think you can get great results when you do that, and then the whole piece can look like it's old.
And
Great idea.
I have 2 family members in the last year that have given me gorgeous, thick, gold framed mirrors. Because people think they may be a little dated. They are not. They are such a classic, and I take them happily because they fit into almost any style that you have.
Yvonne, some of them look a little brassy to me. And those do tend to look dated.
Well, you can definitely paint them because some of them are so beautiful. I don't have any that I would call really brassy, but certainly you can tone them down.
Yeah, I did a whitewash over it and it looks great.
Oh, and that's another thing. If you don't like the wood, or like you said, if it looks a little too brassy, just learn how to paint a piece of furniture. That's my mantra.
Well, but
it's
the other
so
thing
easy.
that you can do also is to put kind of an antiquing glaze on too. So there's a lot of things you
to
can
dull
do
it
to tone
down.
it. Right, but if it's gilded wood, I mean the real gilded wood,
it's beautiful.
I mean you don't want to touch that. You don't want to paint it. You don't want to do anything to it.
And a lot of the times you can tell because it's not a solid. It has, I can't remember the word underneath of it, but the red or the...
Well, you start with red. That's right.
I can't think of the word. It's just not coming to me. Or sometimes a blue when you do silver and you can see that, or even a little bit of black underlying that as well. So that's maybe a telltale sign that's either a really good reproduction or the real thing.
What about other mirrored surfaces? And are you guys using those in your house, like mirrored trays, mirrored furniture?
Great idea. I don't, but I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love those little mirrored pieces of furniture. Usually, like thinking like an accent piece or a nightstand or maybe a little side table, something like that. My daughter has those on either side of her bed, and they're so pretty. And I was like, I don't know with the fingerprints and all that, but she's doing pretty well. And it just gives a little pop to the room and bounces the light around. I think they're really, really pretty. And I have a little round table that's very, very small next to a chair in the living room, and that has a mirrored surface. And, it does the same. It just adds a little shimmer.
And I don't think they have a lot of visual weight either, which that's something I love. The only place I would not put a mirrored piece of furniture is if you have a really busy room, because that's going to reflect all of that. So like the more calmer the room, they're just gorgeous. And like you, I have a little black table that the top actually pops off, and it's a mirrored tray. And I love that little table.
Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
Why do a boring mirror when you can get something really creative? And somewhere I was recently, can't remember where, they had taken galvanized buckets and put a mirror in the bottom. Had the handles and put on the wall.
I have one that looks very similar to that.
Very charming.
I haven't hung it yet. I'm looking for a place to put it, but when I saw it, I just knew it had to come home with me.
It's a deep bucket, or it's just a shallow
Well, maybe
tray?
I'd call it I think it's supposed to be a bucket, but it's only like 5 inches deep.
Oh,
mine doesn't have straight sides. Mine sort of
but it has
flange
handles,
out. Yeah, and it has handles. The other thing, one of my favorite mirrors, it's a 2-piece. When you put the 2 pieces together, they're like a demi-luna. They're like a half round.
Oh, yeah.
And a half round with spokes. And it's really a beautiful mirror. And I oh gosh, it's been so many years since I bought that. I sort of can't remember where I got it, but it's big and it's got a beautiful, really beautifully done chippy frame. And I just remember that it wasn't cheap, but I just thought, oh, this is something that's going to last a long time. So finding those unusual mirrors, that unusually shaped or unusual frames, is just such a piece of art, as well as something that's very reflective.
Like a Trumeau mirror, and you can buy those new. They make a lot of new ones these days, so that makes them much less expensive. But those are really gorgeous.
People see that word around or hear it. Can you describe what that is?
What a Trumeau is? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's got typically, I think the traditional ones, they're portrait in orientation, and then there would be a panel above the mirror, and typically they would have a pastoral scene painted there. Mm-hmm. But the newer ones typically have maybe some relief up there and some floral things going on. So I certainly have a new one that has an oval mirror at the top and then a floral relief pattern on there that's just beautiful.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Okay.
And then the other one would be the bullseye mirrors, the French ones that are gorgeous. They're in the zinc. You know what I'm talking about, the zinc frames?
Yes.
I don't, sorry.
Well, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay, I'm interested. The other thing,
well, it's kind of round, and then kind of curved. I'd have to. I don't think I can describe it well.
They're convex when you look at them.
Well, the English ones are. These are not.
I got you. Okay.
But go ahead.
I've done something really interesting. I've made my own. You know, those beautiful Venetian plaster frames that have the small mirror in the center, and they're just very large and very weighty frames around the outside. Mm-hmm. I was in my local hardware store, and I went past the ceiling medallions, the plastic ones that you put up on your ceiling, and your the chain for your chandelier light goes through that. Right. And I thought, I bet you I could do something with these. And I really didn't know what I was going to do.
I love those kinds of moments. Oh,
yeah.
Did you?
So I picked out 3, one large, one medium, one small, all in different motifs. And I brought it home with me. And I just stashed them away. And I thought, I'm going to make a frame out of these. So I did a Toscana style painting on it that's sort of layers of paint, and it's very easy to do, but it looks very, very beautiful. And then I just went and had a mirror cut at my local hardware store and glued it to the back, so just that little round cutout in the center has a mirror in it. And I hung a trio of them in my foyer, so I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah,
they are
nice.
so inexpensive, and they look like $1 million. Every time somebody comes into my house, they always comment on those mirrors.
Oh, I love that.
Nice.
That is really good.
And I just think we need to be really, you can just be so creative when it comes to what mirrors look like and how we use them. And we just did just finished up the episode before, 47, was on accent chairs. And really a mirror is sort of along that same vein, that you can put almost any style in just to give you a little bit of pop. You know, a gilded mirror in mid-century modern would look good. Oh, even a French mirror in a modern would look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like I say, a French chair works in any room, I think a French mirror works in any room too.
Also, if you have, and I know so many people have these, and if you don't, you can buy them for a song, like a cherry or a mahogany mirror. And a lot of them are hand carved. If they're old enough, they paint up beautifully.
True.
And usually the quality of the mirrors that you find in the older things like that, especially in that cherry mahogany venue, if it's a nice mirror, a nice mirror altogether, the glass in it is very good.
Well, and I love the patina on the old mirrors where they're, and I'm not talking vintage, I'm talking antique, where it's kind of cloudy and spotted. It's hard to replicate that exactly, but that's a gorgeous look.
It is a gorgeous
I like
look.
That. I like that look too.
You
And it is hard. I mean, you can do the DIYs. I don't know that you're going to nail it, but you can get pretty darn close.
Yeah,
if
you can get
the
close.
instructions.
Sure.
I think that to a non-discerning eye, if it's just an accent, it would be hard to tell. I think the frame of the mirror would give it away.
You're right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
More than
Another way to
the
use
technique.
mirrors, if it's more of a flat mirror where the frame is not, wouldn't be coming away from the wall at all, is you can use that as a tray or just as a corralling space on your coffee
true. That's a good
table,
point.
dining room table. Another way that I like to use mirrors is those dressing table mirrors. Usually that's gold, metal, and there's maybe some filigree or something.
The handheld ones.
No, not handheld ones. They're actually they were trays almost for a dressing table.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I had that. Yeah, back in the day when I was a kid, I had one of those.
So definitely,
You put your perfume on it.
could put your perfume on it, right? And it would.
And there was a
reflect the surface.
matching hairbrush that went with it.
Yeah, well, you had the deluxe set.
I did.
But they were not new when we were little in the mid '80s. Anita, when you and I were little girls in the '80s.
Hey, why are you not throwing me into your group?
Think they did.
If you're going to lie, you might as well throw me into the group, too.
Only because you didn't mention that you had the deluxe set, Yvonne. I think that those, they go dressing table little trays like that go way, way back. So you could find super old ones. You could find ones from the 70s, maybe have a little white mixed in with the gold, to go with your white and gold bedroom set and all of that. But you can find those at thrift stores all over the place. And so I just got a few of them, and now I'm starting a little collection. And I have this little wall that's
going to go with your.
wow.
That's going to go with your Hollywood.
Yes, I got a little
thing.
glam thing going on. But I bought them to go in a different spot. I thought, these two will be perfect here. But then, alas, they were not looking the way they looked in my mind. So I found a new spot for them. And then, of course, they need a third. So they need a friend. So I'm looking for another one of those. And then I'm going to hang them on the wall. But you could use...
that is the tip of the day.
Well, interesting you say that, because
I love that.
What I'm thinking about doing, I have some of these silver-plated handheld mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
From even earlier. And they're all, got this beautiful kind of, detail on them. And I was thinking about hanging some of those, kind of a grouping of them on the wall.
Oh, that would look beautiful. And you could put the handles up and down so they could be grouped, sort of closer together.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be beautiful. See, you can think of all these different ideas of how to use mirrored objects. The one thing I want to just caution, and I made a mirror out of a chippy wood frame and just went to my local hardwood store and had them cut mirror. I did not like it. The mirror in the Venetian medallions, they're small enough it didn't matter, but when you're getting into a larger frame, it just didn't look right. It looked a little off. When you looked
because
into
the mirror looks so new and the frame
mirror
looks so
was
old.
Not a good quality.
Oh, really?
So, maybe going to a glass company that sells, mirrored glass. It's better. It really is better to buy a little better quality of mirrored glass.
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yes. Well, I learned
there are
it from
definitely
experience.
different grades of mirror.
Yes.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
Interesting.
And I'm so attracted to a beveled mirror. There's just something really beautiful in my mind when it comes to that sweet beveling that's around that. And you don't see those so
much anymore. That seems to be kind of a thing of the past.
Oh, I just gravitate towards those. I just think that little beveling is it's like having a mat on a picture.
And, I got some sweet frames for one of our bathrooms that it's a wood frame and it's oval in the center, curved at the top, and it actually came with these cute little birds that you could put on or not put on.
Oh, like were they carved?
Yeah, they were carved wood. They were from Ballard
goodness.
Design. So they were, I think I put one bird on and took one off. I can't remember what I ended up doing.
Oh gosh, I look at that catalog all the time. I haven't seen those. That
was from several years ago. Maybe they don't have them anymore.
And here's another idea. If you have a smaller, like I said, you just don't want a mirror to get lost on a wall, like a little tiny small mirror on a wall. It just won't look right. Get a beautiful big empty frame and put that mirror inside it. So it gives it more visual weight. And that's so important, that things have enough visual weight, that they're not wimpy. And that's one way to do that.
Good point. Mirrors are great in the garden too. If you're not one that's going to be whipping out the Windex or the Glass Plus every few minutes, you can add a mirror to a garden spot.
And those gazing balls?
Gazing balls as well, but you could actually hang a mirror, especially if you have a yard that has a solid wall or has a fence or something. You can add a mirror, and it can reflect if you have a cutting garden, or it can just reflect another area of your yard. And it's just a pretty way to add a touch to outside. Maybe put your little bistro set right in front of it.
You're bringing the inside out.
Yeah.
Be careful of the wind. You don't want. Was it 7 years of bad luck? Just be careful.
Oh, yeah. No 7 years of bad luck. Yeah.
Okay, but we don't believe in that anyway here.
No, I know, but I had to mention it.
You have to affix it pretty well.
Of course, yes. Oh, there's so many things that you can do with a mirror. And I think in my house, the only place I don't have a mirror is exactly what we were talking about before, was the kitchen. But I think one of the best places to put a mirror, if you don't have one, is to put a very long mirror at the end of a stairway, or if you have a really long, narrow hallway, put it against one of the walls. Put a great big mirror and put it landscape style, the orientation, and put it on one of your walls, and it will open that up. So, it can sort of trick your eye as well.
Good idea.
I love it. Well, I wonder if Thomas Avenue, maybe they have some mirrored tiles. So you can go take a look there. Again, it's DTT20 for 20% off at Thomas Avenue Ceramics. And we enjoyed talking to you today so much about mirrors, and we want you to remember we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey there. If you're loving our podcast like we're loving our podcast, we would love you to rate and review us. Head to iTunes to do that. It's easy and it would mean so much to us.